Good morning. I am an amazed prisoner of Jesus Christ. Y'all, do you know the Lord pretty much had me finish a book in 2 days? In 2 days, y'all. I didn't even know I had a book in me. I had no desire to write a book. None. The Lord has been telling me in many ways, now that I look at it, that I had a book in me. I believe He's been trying for a long time to get me to read a book or write a book. But my level of confidence in myself to write a book is not there. I am not a writer by any means. I am not someone who aspires to write a book. I don't think that I have enough information in me to write a book. I'm like, I can't see it. I can't see it. So the funny thing is that the Lord just had me open up a Word document. And He was like, write this down. I typed it out. He said, now put introduction, put on the first page the title, and put by Jennifer. He said, we're going to write this book. Do you know He had me just pull up my notepad on my phone and put on the microphone and just speak into the microphone. And He was just working with me on it. Like, okay, well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Okay, then what happened, Jennifer? Okay, that's going to be the next chapter. Okay, talk to me about what happened next. Okay, so now the next chapter is going to be this. Go. Y'all, I've been writing this book all through the day yesterday. I didn't even realize it. For the most part. Why? Because the Lord was like, okay, take out your notepad. Look, I'm in the car on the way to the gym. Take out the notepad. Go ahead, put on your camera. Do a quick talking on, this right here about what happened here. I'm on the way to go to see my mom. Okay, talk about this now. Break out your notepad, put on the microphone, talk about this. And then I took those and I emailed them to myself, copied and pasted on Word. There it is. I'm sure there are better ways to do this. More technologically advanced ways to do this, but it ain't better for me because I know God did it in the way that I needed to be able to do it so I can get the thing done the way how Jennifer does it. Y'all, by the end of the day, I had sat down, put all that stuff together. The Lord said, okay, now do another section. It's going to be on this, another section on this. Grab these files, do this stuff, pull this together. He said, Jennifer, this is the book. We're done. We're going to go in here. We're going to add to it a little bit. We're going to go through and clean it all up. But for the most part, the book is done. And it was flowing, y'all. It was just flowing. He was in it and all over it. I had one chapter where I was talking to the Lord and I was like, He told me the next chapter is on this and this. And I was like, Lord, I don't understand how those two things tie together. Like, I wouldn't know what to say because I still don't have understanding on that. He says, I'll teach you. Open it up. Turn on the microphone. Did He do it? Yes, He did. He taught me on the subject as I was talking. The Lord showed up in this thing. I know now. It was just like plugging into the Matrix. Load me up. Don't ask me how. But I understood it as I was saying it into the microphone. God is so good. That's why we have to rely on God. Through this whole experience, I have been doing some very challenging things with ease. I did a marathon. You would have thought I would have been in a fight of my life. I did it with such ease and such grace. Now I felt it. But the Lord called me to that marathon, and he showed me, if I'm calling you to those things, I'm going to give you the grace to do it. The Lord called me to write this book, and it was done in no time. Why? Because the Lord desires me to do it. So I got all of heaven's backing. He's like, I ain't going to call you to do these incredible things and leave you alone. And I want you to do the hard, the difficult, the challenging. I want you to exhaust all of your available resources. So now you'll invite me in, and you can actually depend on me and start living supernaturally. You'll allow me to start showing up in your life. Yo, the book is done. What? The crazy thing is, growing up, I just never really thought I was smart. I didn't realize until I went to college that I was. Right? Because I used to wonder, like, how do people know things? You would talk to people and ask them questions or do whatever, and they would just, and I'd be like, how? I watched this documentary once. Do you know that thing was 4 hours? And what was it? It was a guy that was just talking. He didn't have a notepad. He didn't have no notes. It was a 2-part documentary. He sat up there for 2 hours and was talking. I mean, lofty ideas. Woo! Conspiracy theories, all kind of stuff. 2 hours. And then he said, we're going to take a break and get to the second half. I said, what? How does someone have 4 hours of information off the rip at that time? I didn't understand that. I was like, I don't even think I have an hour in me. Why? Because I wasn't surrendered to the Lord. I wasn't walking in what the Lord wanted me to walk in. I didn't know who I was. I was still searching. So all the things that I was into, they were not for me. So I could never grab a hold of anything and understand the intricacies of it, the inner workings of it. Why? Because it wasn't for me. So yeah, I didn't have 4 hours of information because I was seeking the wrong source for information. I was involved in the wrong activities to be able to extract wisdom from it so I could get up there and speak for 4 hours on it. But when I got in the Lord, I could probably talk on this thing all day. Because God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. But in college, I realized, like, it's not that I wasn't smart. I realized that I just had a different way of learning things. I learned, tell me if y'all the same way. I learned with color, with images. Like, I am a visual learner. So if I go read a book, or if I go and study something, like I highlight, I underline in different colors, I write things to the side, I draw pictures. When I took my biology class in college, like I did diagrams, like I just did different things to help me retain information. I just understood that I learned differently. But still, I would come across people and they were just so wise and so smart. I just never thought that I had enough wisdom in me to write a book. I don't believe I still do. I believe the Lord came through and poured in me and invested in me so I would have something to say. And as I put together those words, he carried those words through me and out on paper as he desired. This is a God-inspired book. It is not of Jennifer. It details my experiences. It details certain teachings so that you can understand to navigate your situation. And I believe the reason why the Lord desired me to write this book is because he wanted to be able to give language to what it was that people were going through and have them be able to see that, yes, this is a thing the Lord does, and have understanding for what it was that they were going through, and also offer a sense of community in it so that people would not have to go through it alone. See, when I went through this processing, I didn't know what the heck was going on because I'd never seen it before. The Lord was teaching me as we went. Sometimes I didn't even know what was going on until after the fact. And then I got the lessons. I got the understanding. I didn't realize it till weeks later, months later, like, oh, the Lord is actually intentionally taking me through a process in which he is pulling me out of the world system and transitioning me into my promised land, into kingdom living. There was the losing of my life, there was the transition, and now moving into gaining my life. And he wants other people to be able to see it and know it and understand it, and also be given comfort in the fact that it's not that they are being punished. It is that you are chosen. And because you are chosen, you are set apart. And you don't get it easy. Why can't I just be like everybody else? You don't even want to be like everybody else. You was asking for different. You know these people bore you. You know this natural living ain't for you. You know you bigger than this and greater than this. Why are you trying to be like everybody else? You don't even like everybody else. Let's keep it funky. Why? Because God burned off your desire for regular smegular. He burned off your desire for it. Now your soul is seeking for greatness. Now your soul is reaching for depth. Now your soul is reaching for wisdom. Now your soul is seeking to know the mysteries of the universe. Your soul is seeking to go into the deep with the Lord, because all of this regular stuff ain't for you. Why? Because the Lord done burnt off your desire for it, so he can now bring you into a different way. You want the way. Stop asking why you when it get hard. You got to trust that the Lord is leading. But yeah, he had me write this book, y'all. He had me write this book. It's such a different way of living, y'all. It's incredible. Who knew this? How do I teach my kids this? I gotta figure it out. Because I never knew this. We think in this world that we have to explore, find out what fits, what we like, what we desire, what works, and then go after that, leaning on human resources to get us to be able to operate in that, and then teach that to someone else. In that effort, we're leaning on other people. We're leaning